Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. I am out here. It is like 65 degrees this morning, and it is an awesome day. Uh, actually, I came over here last night. I had to find a new spot. I'm still at the lake, and I'm actually like 4 spots down. Need to make sure I got a good spot with. It's weird how narrow the beams are for the 5G. So literally, if I come 5 spots over, I go from like a 3 to 5 8 meg upload to 20. So there we go. So we are out here today, and just to give you a quick look, I am on the back end of the tailgate, or the back end of the Bronco this morning. So but looking out here, so still at the lake. I don't know if you can see it, but just on the other side of the retaining barrier there, I've got the Chelicants JPC 12 out there. I've had that antenna for 3 years now, 4 years, and it's been a workhorse. No complaints. You know, it's a Chinese brand, but I ain't gonna argue with that too much. It's worked, and it's been consistent, and I've had great luck with it. They actually Gozizu sent me, I think it's the MC350, which is basically the same antenna with a bigger coil on it to get you that 80 meters. So one of the things that I don't have normally with the infed half waves without having to get into a super long wire is the ability to do 80 meters. And I wouldn't mind doing some, out here over the summer at nighttime and taking advantage of that extra band space to do some POTA activations. And then I know that basically, basically at 8 p.m. Eastern, it starts to die off, and it just kind of goes down from there. At least here in the eastern part of the United States. Out west, they still have some good activity, but it starts to roll down. So maybe 8:30 is it, but you'll still make contacts. I mean, there's still people, but as far as like active people looking specifically for POTA parks, that does kind of die off. But also out here, let's see, spin the thing around. So similar views. I'm gonna start looking for some more places here, because like right now I'm getting blasted right in the face. So the camera is just a silhouette up on the bed of the Bronco, but yeah. So coffee's not kicking in. Hasn't kicked in as well. I also got quite a bit of glare now on my monitors, and it is gonna prove to be a difficult thing. But you know what? We're doing ham radio, and so there we go. Just looking through the list here. And then I also want to find a spot where I'm not having to pick up all the road noise. There's just outside of the parking lot is Old State Road 37, which was at one point the main thoroughfare between Indianapolis and Bloomington, to get up and down there. And it's a 2-lane windy road through the forest here. So pretty busy, but good afternoon, morning, Elodie. Cooley checking in this morning. Yeah, Cooley's not too far from me still. We're going to start off on 40 meters this morning, anyways, to do that. Now with that Chelicants antenna, there's a loading coil there in the middle. So that is one of the downfalls of using that type of antenna. not a bad thing, but you do have to get out there and manipulate it. Now, like the buddy pole, that kind of coil, if you're using a Wolf River coil, res antenna, you kind of have an idea where your different bands are going to kind of be resonant, or at least a starting point. So I've got them marked on there, and that at least gets me in the ballpark. I can do some fine tuning if I need to, or in this case, because I've got the IC-7300 Mark II with me today. It has an integrated 3-to-1 tuner. So depending on what type of antenna I'm going to use, I have to think about what that what that resonance is going to look like at the feed point of the antenna, and adjust appropriately. Can you make that in the tuner, whether it's a 3-to-1 or a 10-to-1, if you're using some kind of an external tuner, and then you have to think about getting it down to a reasonable level where you can work with it. So, a 49-to-1 in-fed half wave means that impedance is transformed 49 times. The ratio is reduced 49 times to make it where it's something that's usable for your radio at a 50 ohm load. Also thinking about that. So some people will have to do like a 4-to-1 or a 9-to-1 unun or balun, depending on what you're looking at, balanced or unbalanced to get that there. In this case, I'm coming out of the feed point with this thing at something that's workable. So generally 150 ohms or less impedance, so I can do it and then use the tuner in the Mark II. Well, I'll tell you, I'm having a hard time with the words this morning. Let's see. So LD's checking in, Cooley's checking in, Justin Crook's checking in this morning. Good morning. Jimmy's checking in this morning. Jimmy got that new microphone too. Boy, I tell you what, that pod mic, that's a tank. It's a hoss. The thing is heavy. I had to go in and bust out the Torx wrench and adjust the tension on my boom arm. And mine's a little bit different because mine comes from underneath up. So I had to stiffen that thing up a little bit. Brandon Wynn checking in this morning. Good morning, Brandon. That's just Joe. 101 checking in. Good morning, Joe. Dave, the Great American Eagle. Great American Eagle with the baby face because he shaved his beard off. Checking in this morning from Missouri. Chris Gillenwater checking in this morning. Good morning, Chris. And Robert checking in this morning. Robert reached out to me, and he's got some plans set up for hamcation. No, hamvention. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun trip for him. And I think, and he did mention that he was going to go over to the museum. If you guys haven't been to Wright-Patterson, the Aviation Museum over there is phenomenal. And it's got examples of both military and mostly military, but also commercial recreational aviation from beginning to end. I believe they also got the Air Force One Museum over there, so you can go. And it's been a while since I've been there. We went when I was active with the Boy Scouts. We took our troop over, and we were able to camp on the base. In the most military bases have a MWR, morale, welfare, and rec. And every branch might call it something different. That's what we called it in the Navy. But it's an area where they do things like outdoor activities, camping, tickets to plays, events, sporting events. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff. Their whole focus is to give recreation and morale type events to service members to kind of offset, and like the sporting events, things like that, kind of offset the cost of going to a football game. Because most military members, so they don't get paid a whole lot. I mean, they have a lot that's covered in the form of housing and food and medical and stuff like that, but the actual take home pay is not as much as somebody on the outside. So they do that to kind of do it. So camping there at the base was there. Nice lakes right on the edge of the tarmac of the thing. So they got all the big those big giant KC-130s, 135. I don't know. They're huge, ginormous, big cargo planes that the Air Force utilizes. And then we went over and spent the day at the museum, and that was phenomenal. And they've got I would recommend, if you're going individually, I don't know how often they do this, or if they just take a group of individuals and do it, but because we went over as a larger group, we had a tour guide, or I think the word is docent, but it was a retired military, or retired, in our case, it was a retired Air Force officer. He was also a pilot too. So as we were walking around and he was talking to us and showing us all these big exhibits and everything, he was able to talk from a place of knowledge and authority, I guess. And actually one of the, and I don't remember which one of the planes it was, but it was one of the big giant bombers that was there. He actually flew it. Not that specific one, that example that was in the museum, but that was a plane that he flew while he was in. So being able to also get those firsthand experiences really just added to the thing. So cool stuff. So I recommend, if you guys are going to be going to Hamvention, if you can take a day to go over there and check that museum out, I think it'd be a good thing, especially if you are into aviation. Country James says, eager to see how the bands are before heading over to the park. I'm hearing that the conditions are pretty bad. James, I would say it's always a 50-50 proposition. It's either going to be, the weather's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. And the bands are either going to be good or they're going to be bad. And I would not hesitate to say, go to the park. And if the bands aren't ideal for amateur radio, there's always other fun things to do. Anytime you can get outside and do this, I think is a good thing. And then I also try to make sure that I have multiple ways of activating, so it isn't necessarily a failure. So for example, I primarily do voice, but if the bands aren't going to be so, I'll switch over to like FT8 or something. So I'll have a way. So and I'll do some videos about it again, because the summer's kicking off. But I'll have a tablet with me, just a cheap Android tablet that runs a program called FT8CN. And I can plug that into my radio. It's not a whole lot of extra weight with me. It will do all the logging for me. And then I can just export out the ADIF file and drop it into World Radio League or Polo or whatever I'm using. I can just import those contacts right in before I upload it. So it doesn't add a whole lot of extra work. I don't have to type the contacts in as they're into my logging program as they come. And then if you're somebody that does CW, that's also another opportunity to kind of shift and pivot when the bands are down. And that is something we're going to have to start looking at I think we are now officially in the downward swing of the solar cycle. And don't let the doom and gloom that sometimes people talk about on the downside of the solar cycle. You could still make contacts. Are you going to make contacts halfway around the world? Probably not. Are you still going to make contacts kind of like I do right now? Yeah, most likely. Most of the contacts I make out here when I'm operating portable anyways are 400 to 500 miles. So it's not a big circle. I mean, I if you do come out during the day and you can get on 20 meters and find people out on the West Coast, if you're out on the East Coast, that does open up the possibilities a little bit more. If I remember right, James, you're in Texas, so yeah, Jimmy's down in Texas too, which kind of then opens that arc up for you since you're down in the lower part of the United States. You've got 180 degrees of people, from the southern part of Texas that you got to work, and then bonus if you can get down into Mexico or Central or South America. So always good stuff. And then don't forget you got Jody up there in I believe he's in Jody. I don't remember what province you're in, but I know it's one of the western ones. Alberta. I think you're in Alberta. But yeah, I need welding goggles for that sun. Yeah, it's pretty bright. And unfortunately it's hazy, which makes it, I think, a little bit worse. So Jody checking in this morning. Got our friend Nightbot checking in. Make sure to slap the like button like it owes you money. Good morning, Kelly. Kelly checking in this morning. Good morning, Ken Wright checking in. Whiskey Bravo 4 is at the Hotel Alpha Tango checking in this morning from Tennessee. Good morning. George checking in this morning. He's ready to hunt in his park in Massachusetts. George, I tell you, if you're already in that park, don't hesitate to find a frequency and just call CQ. I had a lot of mic fright when I started. Not saying that's the case, but I'm just saying that I had a lot of mic fright when I started. I could talk to people on a repeater after sitting and listening and kind of get an idea of the personalities and such of the people that I was talking to. Obviously there's events, local things like that you've got an opportunity to talk about. Like most of my UHF, VHF activities was on a repeater going to work. So there was 10, 15, 20 of us at any given time. And, you could talk about not only the weather, but the traffic and where the slowdowns and stuff like that were. So, and then if it was nice weather when you were going to go out and do a POTA and things. But I sometimes have a hard time talking to people on the HF side of things, just because it's like, well, what do I say to them? You can only talk about the weather so much. You hear that a lot. People on the reg chew, you get the 10-minute weather report and the filibustering, kind of like I'm doing now. But and that's why I like the POTA. I don't really care for contesting. I'll do it. I'll do the QSO parties and things like that. But a lot of the contesting for me is the people are just they get way too uptight. I heard a guy last night. I wish I was recording. There was a twofer going on, or I'm sorry, there was two operators and a club call, and this guy just kept throwing his call out every 10 seconds, right on top of people, and just going on and on. It was the most obnoxious thing I heard, and I wrote his call sign down. I might even make a video about it. It was asshole move is what it was. Personally, I would have just ignored the guy and moved, and the ops picked him up, but I mean, he was, and it was a 2x2 call. So he's been around at least long enough to get a vanity call. Yeah, he just kept going on and on and on, and they're trying to work other stations, and he just kept throwing out his call, almost like he couldn't hear. I don't know. I didn't, calls aren't, contacts aren't that, and that just came off the tail end of the shit. What is it? That Bouvet Island, right, and all the dumpster fire of operators that were acting worse than freaking spoiled parents at an amusement park, trying to get their kid to the front of the line, kind of thing. So, but where I was going with that was just get out there and get on the air, operate, have fun, make contacts. So, I do have, like I said, the Robert checking in this morning from New Jersey. Good morning, Robert. K Jules checking in this morning from Louisiana. Julie, I'm going to tell you, you need to bedazzle that 7300 Mark II, and I don't care what Vaughn says. You're the boss in that household. You tell them how it's going to be. All righty. So there was one other thing that I did want to talk about. Oh, Wednesday night. I don't know if you guys caught the late shift. Robert, Digital Rancher, did the late shift Friday night. He had been between being under the weather, and I think he had to travel for a conference. He had missed 2 or 3 of them, and so he had a marathon session. But one of the things he had talked about was low mesh and the device that he had picked up at Hamcation. I've actually got Stavros or Steve, the guy who designed that unit, and he's also the low mesh company. So he's got some cool things that he's doing with Meshtastic, and he's got some cool ideas about how you can do some blending or maybe modifying. And so Robert was talking about how basically his node hadn't been charged in 2 weeks because of how the modifications. That's a custom Meshtastic firmware that he's got on the unit there for the low mesh unit. So he's gonna come and talk to us on the kids table Wednesday night. So make sure you get over there and check that out. Also, Freddie Mac is I think the next week we're gonna have Freddie Mac on, and he's gonna be doing the 10,000 subscriber giveaway for his channel. So once you get over there, make sure you get over there, get subscribed, find out, turn on the notifications, do all the YouTube-y things, and find out when we go live, so you can go and check that out. We're having fun growing a community of people. The tagline over there is "It's not your grandpa's ham radio anymore," and there's a whole lot of people that get hung up on the way it used to be instead of growing the hobby. They want to hang on to something from the 1900s, early 1900s, and I don't know about all that, but we're pushing people to. Pushing's not the right word. Encouraging people to push themselves to do something different and not just get caught up in that trap of hanging out in what it used to be, and finding ways to make it new and something fun and something different. So did K Jules get slapped by Notbot? Uh-oh. Dave said, "Don't be gatekeeping, Tim." Oh, okay. So, all right, let's get some radio going on here. hopefully we'll be able to do this without too many problems. From the I'll have to get you in the excluded list there, Julie. I need you to bedazzle my chat. From the November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot Prediction Center, I'm going to predict some lid's going to try to start QRM and the frequency there now that I've got it displayed. All right, let's see what we got for spots. I might have to switch over to the daytime one here just so I can see it. I still haven't figured out how to use this spotting where I can filter out the countries. There's a bunch of people I don't necessarily, I'm not going to interfere with. They're far enough away that are showing up in the spotting, like Poland. Not worried about Poland on 40 meters and doing that. Doesn't look like 240 is going to be an issue anywhere. So as you can see on the stream there, my standing wave's below the 1.5 at target frequency, but should be good there. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Kilo Golf 4, Victor Echo Tango. Vaughn, good morning. 5-9.
Good morning. 5 by 7, 5-7, solid here into US 2360.
All right, I copied 5-7 into Uncle Sam 2360. Are we Mark 2 to Mark 2 today?
No, sir. No, sir. Mark's still in the box. I'm running the 7100. 7100.
Hey, I'll take it. Either way, it's Team Icon, my friend.
Kilo Juliet 4, Uniform Lima Zulu.
Kilo Juliet 4, Uniform Lima Zulu. Julie, good morning. You are 6'7", 6'7".
Of course I am. I'm a 6'7", bud. Listen, we're at the park today. It's beautiful. We're going to be playing radio on and off all day. I hope you enjoy your morning.
You guys got to be live streaming?
Later on today, we invited a few people to come from Louisiana who wanted to operate the park with us. We're staying in a beautiful park, Supermort Point in Louisiana. It's gorgeous.
Sounds good. Well, you guys have a great day today. Enjoy the trip and have a fun time activating.
Thank you so much. We'll also be in Houston. We'll be in Galveston probably on Tuesday, so that'll be a new park too.
All right, sounds good. Well, you guys have a great trip, and we will talk to you later.
Thanks so much, Tim. 7-3. Have a great day. Catch you later on.
All right, 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. Well, Country James, there's your answer. Louisiana to Indiana on 40. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Got a very faint Whiskey Juliet 2 Bravo. Joseph, good morning. You're about a 4545. I copied the 5-6 into New York, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning in 73. All right, 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Was there a Kilo Charlie 1 station? All right, I got to find a new frequency. That guy's too close. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu, Uniform Alpha. Arnold, good morning. You are 5'7", 57 in the park, my friend.
USL, and you are 5'8", Georgia, 5'8". You were barely audible on the other frequency. Barely audible, but you're a real 5'8" here.
All right, sounds good, my friend. Thank you for the report. Have a great day today in 73.
73, Tim, and I responded you.
All righty, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Julie, I got the JPC 12 out there, so it's a loaded vertical. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Was that Kilo November 4 Zulu Victor Juliet?
Roger, Roger. Thanks for picking up. I got you 5-5 down to Georgia. 5-5. Golf Alpha.
I copied the 5-5 into Georgia. You're also about 5-5 here in the park today.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day out there now. 73.
All right, 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going KSY to 20 meters. All right. There's a lot of noise. I can tell you that. So we'll just go change the antenna real quick. So let me run out there and go change the coil. So what I don't know, obviously I don't have mine. So not bad. We're under 2-1 as it sits. So I'm not going to sweat it. What I will do is just bring the tuner in. And there we go. Clean, clean. Well, that may not be a good sign. So. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Well, there are people. Not a whole lot of people. My gosh. What was that? 310? Doesn't look like anybody's on. Somebody from Norway on 312 a few minutes ago. Is the frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Well, that is interesting. That's deader than the doornail. I don't know. We go back to, what do you think, guys? 40? I'd have to do some reconfiguration for like 10. That is the downfall of that antenna. You got to take segments out to do adjust off the standard bands. That's why I kind of like just 20 and 40. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Dave says this is the way it was for him yesterday. Yeah, last night I was on. It was 20 was so. 40 was great. Didn't have any problems. I'm not worried about activating. I've technically activated the park because I did it after 8 o'clock last night anyways for this UTC day. So if I don't get the 10 contacts, I'm not going to sweat it. But this is out of character for me. So, but hey, we're going to have fun either way. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Joe says there's a major solar storm happening right now. Well, okay. All right, well, let's do this. Let's go back to 40, and I'll just deal with the noise and go from there. We got, still got about 15 minutes to operate before T.O. and Big Jim do the ham church. Sounds like Vaughn and Julie are having some issues too there. So let's go. Let's just swing it back around and go back to 40. Hopefully I don't trip on camera. Nothing worse than that. All right. So when I threw the antenna up yesterday or this morning, my dip was right at 7.290, just right on the nose. I do have Woo, Lordy, that's a little high. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
This is Kilo Delta 3 Alpha Golf Sierra.
Kilo Delta 3 Alpha Golf Sierra. Good morning, 5-9.
Hey, thank you for the 5-9. You're 5-9 as well here. I'm Portable and Whiskey Victor.
Roger. Warren, it looks like I got you in Maryland. Is that you on vacation down in West Virginia?
Yeah, I'm at a friend's QTH at the moment, yes.
All right, sounds good. You definitely sound good up here in the park this morning.
You're sounding pretty good, too. We're watching your live on YouTube right now.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hey, have a great day today, and we'll talk to you later at 73.
All right, put on 7-3.
All right, put on, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. Was there a Kilo Charlie 1 station?
Kilo Charlie 1, Tango, Quebec, Foxtrot.
Kilo Charlie 1, Tango, Quebec, Foxtrot. Good morning. You're about a 5-1-51 into my park, US 4215. Was the park number 11625? Kilo Charlie 1 Tango Quebec Foxtrot. You faded out on me. Was the park number 11625? All right. Sounds like we might have a solar storm going on. I tell you what, we got the contact in there. I'll catch the log number when I get it uploaded. But thank you for the contact. Have a great activation today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Quebec, November 4 Romeo Uniform Sierra.
Was that November 4 Romeo Uniform Sierra?
QSO, that's correct. November 4 Romeo Uniform Sierra. You're about a, let's say a 4-5 in North Carolina.
I copied the 4-5 in North Carolina. I'm going to give you a 5-5 in the park today.
Thanks for activation. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo 0 Sierra Delta.
Kilo 0 Sierra Delta. Tim, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tim. Yeah, I got a light copy on you, but yep, you're making it into South Dakota today. So anyway, you have a great one, buddy. 73.
All right, sounds good, my friend. You're 5-9 here in the park, but thank you for the contact in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ.
Kilo Radio 4 Echo Quebec Whiskey.
Kilo Radio 4, Echo, Quebec Whiskey. Good morning, Juan, 5-9.
I have you 5-3 here into North Carolina. Thank you so much for activating 73.
All right, thank you for 5-3 into North Carolina, my friend. Have a great day today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November 3, Romeo, Charlie, Whiskey.
November 3, Romeo, Charlie, Whiskey. Richard, good morning, 5-9.
Thank you, Tim. Got you at 5-7 into Maryland this morning, over.
I copied the 5-7 into Maryland, my friend. Thank you for the contact in 73.
Have a good rest of your weekend, 73.
All right, you too. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going QRT. Well, let me reposition here on my stool. Well, I guess it is what it is, and it's not a super big deal. As you can see, the bands are kind of wonky, but like I mentioned earlier, always take a second way to activate with you, whether it's something like FT8 or CW voice, could be other forms of digital. Ready things like that. Whatever. Just I would say always have a backup plan. A plan B to do those. Speaking of plan Bs, I don't know. I think you guys have heard my son. I have a snot-nosed 13-year-old son, and he's a great kid. I just say that, but he's your typical teenage kid, and of course he's of the YouTube generation, and he is giving me crap. Says I can't get 5,000 subscribers, or get to 5,000 subscribers for my channel by the end of the month, and we are, I don't know, right about 10 days left now. I want to say the 22nd, so 9 days. I've got, and I'm actually at 4,800 and I think 2 subscribers this morning. So I know there's a lot of people. Actually, I'm looking. What do we got here? Got a bunch of people on X watching too. There's a QR code up there, but go subscribe to my channel. I need to show my son, kind of put him in his place, and you guys can help me do that. Help me put my son in his place. That's what I need from you guys. So if you don't mind, once again, Gray Man POTA, Dave, if you could maybe throw the link in there too. So I think it should go out on X also, but I would appreciate that. Also, where'd it go? It's hard to see the screenolator right now with the sun in my eyes. So we're gonna have this. I've got I do have overhead awning to throw up on the back of the Bronco, and obviously that's got to be something that I'm going to start doing in times like this. But just out camping and outdoor stuff along with it. But my understanding is my understanding is that I can do some membership gifting. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I have to do that, but I do have memberships available if anybody is interested. It's not just kind of helps offset the cost of the live streaming software, buying radios, doing those things, kits, things like that. Just for the channels. If anybody's interested, there's the thing down below. But other than that, not a big deal. I enjoy getting out here and doing this stuff. It's fun in the park and getting outdoors. And actually, I'm starting to warm up. It's about time to pull this thing off. Let's go back to the breakdown for today. I think, let's see, stats. Does that bring it up? This might be a little hard to see. I don't know. It's hard for me, but so 11 QSOs in 21 minutes, averaging about 30 Qs an hour. One band, it's the only one I made contacts on, was 40. Single mode SSB, and all my contacts were inside the USA for DXCC. Guys far north here is Tim. Kilo Zero SSD way up there, but most of my contacts were down here in the southern and eastern United States. So does sound like we've got a solar storm possibly going on right now, but not a big deal. I'm not sure. It looks like Dave's answering maybe a question for somebody. POTA site will take care of adding parks when uploading the logs. Yeah, so that is something. I know a lot of people, they get kind of twisted up on the numbers. You don't have to log park numbers. It will. If I upload my log and the one station that I was like, I couldn't get their park number. If those two, we both upload our logs, their system will find us and match it up. So not necessarily a big deal. The only thing that you need to do at POTA is exchange call signs and acknowledge that. Signal reports, the rest of it is just, it's just information that's nice to have, but it's not required for the log as far as POTA is concerned. So I think we have hit the time. I appreciate everybody checking in. It was fun getting out here. I'm gonna try to scope out some other areas where I can get a long wire up and I don't have to go out and swap that thing around. But everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the Sunday. Steve and Jim are up next with the Ham Church. Go check them out. Tell them the fat guy sent you. Appreciate the support, everybody. Have a great weekend in 73.